What a handful of you guys and gals know is that in my previous life, I was a rapper. True story. So we don't really need amplification because I still got them old pipes. You know what I mean? Old 80s pipes. No, it's a pleasure to be here. And first thing I want to do, I'm not as old as some of you in here, but I'm 54. In about 5 months, I'll be 55. Sometimes we just take things for granted. And some of you live here, so you've been more associated with what's gone on in New York. Yesterday was 9/11. Some of you have been directly impacted by that. And then some of you live here and you saw and experienced what COVID did here, as we all have. And it just makes you appreciate that, you just think, sin gathering, we're here, and then we're going to break out. No. Like, tomorrow's not promised. Today is. So we should be grateful. And there are a lot of people who work behind the scenes to pull this off. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank them. So I know there's a lot of Sin Network staff here. They're wearing red shirts, except for the rebellious ones, so I'm going to call them out. But if you're Sin Network staff and you help pull this out, go ahead and stand up. We want to give you a hand. Say thank you for, come on, stand up. Thank you very much. Yeah. It's a lot of work trying to get us all together to do this. So we're so thankful to be part of a family. A family is a place where you're seen, where you're heard, where you're believed, where you're affirmed, and where people are with you. And that's so descriptive of Sin Network. I want to give you a few perspectives on being conformed to Christ. The first one's found in Romans 8:29, and it's being conformed to Christ is God's grand purpose for you. And many of you know this verse, Romans 8:29. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. We were predestined to be conformed to Christ. And what stands out to me about this is that sometimes being conformed to Christ is relegated to a sanctification issue or a secondary issue or a tertiary issue, but theologically, it's like the issue. It's why you were saved. And some of you are like, wait, well, we were saved to do mission. No, you're saved to be like Jesus, and as a result, you do mission. We don't flip it around. In other words, God literally has orchestrated and harnessed the whole universe in his sovereignty and directed all of these promises, including the presentation of the Word of God to you, the Spirit of God's work in your life, all so that you can be like Jesus. God's grand objective for you is to be like Jesus. And as a result of that, you do mission. But first and foremost is to be like Jesus. It's the purpose. We're saved to be like Christ. And this is good news. And for those us who've lived a little bit, sometimes that God is really committed to this because he's always doing this in your life, whether you like it or not. Because this sounds really good on a stage and platforming, like, oh, that's good theology. But you got to live your theology out. And God has 1,000 ways to make you like Jesus. And some of them you don't even like. Right? Can we keep it 100? Like, God doesn't always use your morning devotional time with your perfect little coffee with a nice little breeze and a nice little Hillsong playing in the back, and with all your books and your kids got up fasting and praying and your whole life is just orchestrated brilliantly.